Right. And I mean, when you talk about NFTs, I think probably the biggest success story in the NFT world is the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And from what I understand, I remember I was talking to Machi, big brother, about this, and he was up on this really early. He had, gotten a bunch of these, and I guess he gave out free apes to some of the Pleasr DAO members, right?
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I remember this actually. Well, I just happened to be in the, active on the group chat at the time. So I saw when somebody passed the link and they were like, oh, this is a cool project, check it out. And then, yeah, they were going for, I think it was $200 per ape at the time. And then, so I was like, oh, these are cool. So then I bought 5. And then Machi, I think, bought, a bunch because he has more money than me. And then they sold out pretty quickly. So then, the members of the DAO, some of them were like, oh no, I missed the project. So now, I can't buy one because they sold out. And then so Machi, being, the cool guy that he is, was just, here, you can have one, or I'll give you one. So anybody who sort of missed out on it, he was just giving them the Bored Ape.
Okay, so you own 5 apes yourself.
I did, yeah. And then I sold 2 of them very, very early, extremely early, embarrassingly early. And then I gave one away to a friend. So I still have 2 currently.
Okay, and they go for about what, 400,000 a piece?
I think so, something in that vein. Between 200 to 400,000, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And since then you've seen like Steph Curry. He bought one for, I think, 450,000. Lil Baby bought one. Snoop Dogg bought one. Eminem bought one. And it sort of created this whole effect. And I guess what's actually different about the Bored Ape Yacht Club from other NFTs is that when you actually buy one, you actually own the rights, the commercial rights to that particular ape. Yeah. So you could create merch out of it. You could put it in your, house in the metaverse. You could create products with that picture on it legally, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And is that normal in the NFT world, or is this kind of unique to the apes?
I think when it came out, it was pretty unique to the apes, or they brought light to this maybe that people weren't even thinking about. I feel, obviously now there are way more projects that have sprung up and were inspired by this. So a lot of other projects are also doing it now. So, but at the time, I would say it was probably unique.
Well, from what I understand, the Bored Ape Yacht Club has had over $1 billion in sales on OpenSea.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't it crazy though when you really just a bunch of cartoon apes sold for $1 billion? Like,
yeah, when I try to explain NFTs to people, especially these collectible projects, I don't know if you've ever played Neopets, but I always tell my friends if, they've played Neopets before, which is, sort of like this website that most people have played when they were really young. And, on the website, you can have these just digital assets, things and collectibles but you use, sort of like the online currency. I would say NFTs are kind of like that, but with real adults, and they're using actual money to transact.
I mean, is Bored Ape Yacht Club, is that the most successful NFT project of all time at this point?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, it's either that one or CryptoPunks probably.
Okay. And always the question is, when it comes to stuff like this, like, okay, look, right now it's hot to death. You got all these celebrities that are not only buying these things, but using them as avatars on their social media, which further advertises it. And then, it creates, a FOMO kind of effect where no one wants to miss out and so forth. And the Bored Apes, they could get, some people sell them as fractionals as well, right? Or do you have to buy the whole thing?
I'm sure some people are fractionalizing them, and people have partial ownership of an ape. Yeah.
Got it. So you have this thing right now, and it's hot to death and so forth. But, the reality is that certain things become bubbles, certain things don't. And, the question is that a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is there a chance that the Bored Ape Yacht Club could be going for a couple $100 again because the buzz is over and, people have moved on to something else?
Anything in crypto is possible. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's impossible. But probably, at this point, the chances are low, but it's absolutely possible.
I mean, what do you think will keep things growing in value as opposed to being a bubble? I mean, from your point of view, as someone that's been in it for a long time, who's really part of the biggest group that's doing it, I mean, what really separates that? Because, like you said, there's a lot of copycats. There's a lot of as soon as, the Bored Apes came out, there was a lot of very similar looking apes that came out and, a lot of bootlegs. And then, plus the Bored Ape thing started to get expanded. Like there was mutant apes and stuff like that, which, could or could not make it more or less valuable depending on how the market reacts to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the beauty of virality or just the industry and community in general is that the reaction of the masses is never easy to predict. And there's always an element of serendipity to it that's hard to capture, quantify, or even, project, right? So I think, sort of the few elements that we can sort of have control or look at are probably, cultural relevance. And so, obviously these celebrities getting involved is a huge plus. And if that, continues to happen, then I think it's going to remain relevant. Myself, I'm a large proponent of quality in content as well, so, you're seeing a lot of NFT projects that are popping up that are, let's say, relatively low effort, either in the quality of the art. When Bored Apes came out, there were a lot of other profile picture projects as well, but the art in Bored Apes was one of the highest quality ones. I think the art was interesting. I personally, because at the time they were really cheap. I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. I bought it just because I thought the art was cool, and so I think that's really important to consider as well.
Yeah, I mean, how does it really feel to go from a broke artist on unemployment to now being part of a multi-billion-dollar group and having a collection of digital items that are potentially, worth in the millions or tens of millions in the future?
I mean, this obviously the answer to this will vary from DAO member to DAO member, but for me personally, it's always just been about, it's not about the numbers or, how much they're worth, but more so, sort of the cultural significance behind it or the historical significance or kind of the impact that we can have on society, either in pushing the entire crypto space forward, pushing NFT culture forward, and also just showing people that I myself personally, and I think many members of the DAO are passionate about charitable components towards it, and just showing people that life cannot just be about collecting for yourself, but sharing with others. And also, if you're starting to do well, you can also share that with people who aren't as fortunate as you, I guess.
Well, I guess my final question is this: as someone that's part of Pleasr DAO, who is has valuable NFT projects that she's made herself, what do you think is the next big NFT project?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
I wish I knew. Everything is so random in this space, it feels like. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely bought into projects that, never went anywhere. It just so happens to be that Bored Apes did end up going somewhere. But I would say that probably at least something that the DAO really cares about are, sort of these one-of-ones, right? So, it's just like a unique NFT, and probably, the general guidelines are things that, like I said, have significance in history, culture, a large impact, or are already well-known, or, by an individual that has a large impact on society. And so sort of we look out for these things. Like Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia, put up an NFT for sale at, I think it was Christie's recently, and then we also bought that as well. So, and it was the first Wikipedia page ever that was on sale for an NFT. And obviously Wikipedia plays such an important role in everybody's lives, and they don't do banner ads or anything. And so yeah, I think those are sort of like the holy grails, or the general directions that we follow. And so if you're looking for a next big NFT project and you think you have the funds for it, if it's something like that, probably we'll be bidding on it.
Well, that's what it is. Ppl Pleasr. I really appreciate you coming in. This is very different than what we usually do. I mean, we've interviewed, obviously we interview rappers and celebrities and so forth. And we have done like some real estate billionaires and some big investors. But, I think this is really the first time that we're going into, the future with crypto and NFT and DAOs and so forth. And, as one of the people that really is a very important part of the evolution, I think that what you're bringing to the table and what you're saying is extremely important. So I appreciate you coming in and sharing your knowledge and, looking forward to see what Pleasr DAO does in the future.
Thank you so much. And thanks for giving me a platform to share the story.
Absolutely. Until next time. Peace.